All right, finally, we got it right. Ooh, that gave me a little scare for a second. I couldn't get this thing going live, but I think now I got it live. So now we are good. We're going live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you that are joining us, welcome to this app training. First rule in technology is that it doesn't always work on time. I was trying to go live. I apologize about the late start. We're about 3 minutes off of what we should be, but everything should be okay right now. Yes. All right. Now I had to check to make sure that it was streaming on the live site, which it is. It is streaming on We Want Solutions. My name is Herman Davis. For those of you that don't know me, I'm from the Southeast Texas area. A couple of ground rules while we get started, because I know we have a lot of folks that are plugged in, a lot of folks that have submitted a lot of questions about this app training. And let me just kind of lay some things up front. I'm a regional manager of Southeast Texas, been with the company since 2002. An executive director with them, happy, extremely excited, father of 7. Wife and I, we work from home. We've actually full-time with LegalShield. And the reason why I put this training together is because this has transformed my business. The fact that the apps, what LegalShield's done with the applications has drastically changed the landscape of my business. I am so excited. I'm kind of like an app fanatic for those of you that really know me. And so since they implemented the apps, we took some time, our team and I'm just going to share exactly what this brought us, so you know the power of what it can bring you, because we're not that good yet, but we're still using our apps and they're really, really exploding exactly what we're doing. So this is what happened. Before we came out with all these apps, of course, we were struggling to hit executive director, of course. Sometimes going to 11:58 at night trying to get the last membership. But because we implemented the apps, because we learned how to utilize them, not just for our members, but how to prospect, which we're going to go over tonight, how to expose with them, how to actually retain our members, how to even present with them. Because we implemented that, I'm excited because this month I think we qualified like by the 8th or 9th of the month. Because of the team has bought into this, and this is not difficult at all. So when we get started, as you can see down here, you can submit your questions to freedombychoice.biz. And what's going to happen is every once in a while, I'm going to review some of those questions just to make sure. I'm looking at some of them right now. I'm looking at them right now, and there's some great questions, and I'll try to answer them throughout the presentation. So if you do have some more questions, and if you have a smartphone, if you're watching this on a computer, you can just go ahead and click the link, or go to freedombychoice.biz. It should be on the top part if you're on the website, and you can submit your questions. And I promise you, I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. But before we actually get into the applications, I am going to share with you my phone screen. So you're going to have a live view, because as I'm talking about the applications, I want you to see them. I'm a visual learner. I believe that if I show you rather than tell you what to do, it's going to help you out a lot. So I put together, when I'm talking about a very short slideshow, I'm talking about extremely short slideshow, just to show you the power on why this thing is really, really good. Now, once I get through with the slideshow, I'm gonna go right into our phone screens. So why the need for these mobile apps? And when Jeff Bell first came along, I was a little skeptical. I was excited when the old school prepaid LegalShield guys and, used to doing things with brochures and everything else. And he came out with a mobile app, and he was like jacked out of his mind whenever he was talking about the mobile app. And I'm like, this guy is really excited. That's what I didn't really know Jeff Bell. But I realized that he's named our CEO for a reason, because he has a lot more information than we do. So let me go over a couple of statistics that blew my mind to lay the foundation of what these apps are going to do for us. First of all, there's 2.6 billion smartphone users worldwide. 2.6 billion smartphone users worldwide. That's a lot of smartphone users. 87% of people have their smartphones by their side. I mean, I know folks that won't leave their house. If they leave the house without the smartphone, they'll come back to get it. So their phone is always going to be on their side. Imagine back in the day, if you gave somebody a tool and it was always on their side. I mean, that's exactly what we're doing right now with these apps. If you were passing out a tool and they kept the brochure in their back pocket, or, that they always can access it, that's exactly what these apps will do. 80% of all internet users have a smartphone. 80% of all internet users have a smartphone. I mean, I do presentations all over the place, and even in group settings or, over at our local business briefing. And I always say, raise your hand if you have a smartphone, and literally all the room, they raise their hands. So, you know, they have a device. We have a device that every one of your prospects have. You know, it's very rarely that I find someone that doesn't have a smartphone. 90% of all mobile time is through apps. And it's where the apps come to. So when people are on their phones, when people are on their smartphones, 90% of the time that they spend on their smartphone is in an application. It's already an application. So the majority of the time that they spend on their phones is in apps. Now look at this. 2.5 hours are spent per day on their mobile phone. On the average, people spend almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours on their mobile phone. You know, so we have the smartphone deal is, I can't stress it enough. The mobile app is important because according to a Business Insider Intelligence report states by 2020, remember Vision 2020, where we're going, mobile commerce will make up 45% of total e-commerce. That's 284 billion in sales, mobile commerce. So, I mean, it's very important that we understand that we are in a position right now utilizing these apps. Don't be, I'm showing you these stats. I'm showing you these things because what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be nervous, because sometimes technology can be a little scary for some people. You know, some folks that say, look, I've heard so many people say, well, look, I'm technology ignorant or illiterate. I'm computer illiterate. I don't even know it. You have to learn. You know, the way when I communicate with our organization, you know, yeah, you're going to have to get out your comfort zone, and you just have to take the time to learn. And I commend you, congratulate you for being a part of this webcast, because at least you're starting to learn. You want to learn. And I'm going to go through every last one of our apps, and I'm going to talk about the things that our team uses a lot, give you a fundamental understanding of all the apps and what they can be used for. So you want to be scared of it. The main reason why people are scared of technology is because they haven't really tried to embrace it. They haven't really, you know, they haven't really tried to learn about it. And like anything else, once you try to learn, or once you learn about something and it becomes foreign, it's going to be familiar with you. And I promise you, after this webinar, you're going to tackle your apps. You're going to love your apps. Okay, you're going to love to tap that app, like the saying says. So let me go and let me stress something, because what I found out too, looking at my organization and speaking to people in the market, that when the apps came along, I noticed sometimes it can really push down production, because people don't take good with change. And, you know, it's like when something new comes around, they get a little nervous. But let me share something with you. Our process never changed. Just because we have the apps, that doesn't mean our process changes. It's still the same thing, no matter what we implement. Whether it was back when I first got in and we were getting our cassette tapes, you know, or the brick, the VCR tape, or all the way up today when we have smartphones, the process doesn't change. Now, I really want you to see this and understand this before we get into these apps, because we can get so caught up in the technology that we forget that there still is a process of us building our business. And that doesn't change. It starts with, of course, you want to pique interest. When you meet someone, you want to pique their interest and expose them with a tool. That's the baseball diamond. So you want to get them interested. A lot of people are having problems with the Prospect app right now because they're going to expose with a tool, but they haven't done a good job of piquing their interest. So just like before, we always want to start off piquing someone's interest, getting someone to answer that question like, why should I look at, or why should I open what you sent me or what you're giving me? Why should I even listen to you? Piquing interest is very important. Then we want to expose with a tool. And in piquing interest, I'm going to show you how we can use the LegalShield app to pique interest. The expose with a tool, I can definitely show you how you can use the LegalShield app and the Prospect app to help you with your exposure with a tool. Then you want to follow up. And I'm going to show you how the Prospect app really helps with your follow-up. And of course, you want to get them out to a live event, and then you want to close them. So the process doesn't change at all. I don't want you to get that mixed up. We still do the basic things. What the apps do is they help with the process. They just really help us move from one base to another. They're almost like, you know, if you're playing baseball and you have some Dockers, some platform shoes on, well, you know, and then all of a sudden you get some fancy, you know, Reeboks or Nikes with spikes on them. It's just going to help you get from one base to the other, but you still got to run around the bases. So the apps are kind of like your new shoes, so to say. I don't want you to think that we're reinventing the wheel, because we're not. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're just really making it smoother. And this is important for you to know before we get into the actual apps. We just want to make it smoother for you to go from one base to the other, but it never changes. And if you can keep that in mind, you'll never have a problem with these applications or anything else. So let's get into our apps right now. I'm going to go ahead and start with sharing my phone screen. Now, a little warning, because this is going to be recorded. I'm pretty sure people are going to share it with other folks. When I share my phone screen, it's my phone screen. So you might have text messages pop up. You might have, emails pop up. I don't stop my notification. This is real time. So just ignore all the messages and everything else. And there's not going to be anything bad. And also, let me warn you, I have 7 kids. I'm the work from home dad. That's kind of what I do. So if you see someone run across or anything else like that, do not worry about it. It's just going to be what it's going to be. So welcome to my living room. So let me share my phone screen with you. And the first app we're going to go over is the Prospect app. Okay, it's the Prospect app. Well, before I do that, let me do one thing. Let me talk about enrolling in Prospect by LegalShield first. Okay. So the Prospect app, what's the purpose of it? And the website you see up right now is prospectbylegalshield.com. Later on, during a replay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a link to a document, a shared document. And every link that I show you in this video will be in that shared document. So you can go to the YouTube link that I'm going to have. And at the bottom of the description of this training, you're going to have every link that I'm going to share. So if you don't get a chance to write everything down, it's okay. Well, I'll go ahead and give you the links. So Prospect by LegalShield. Now, what's the purpose of this app? For me, it's to help with the exposure process. Like I said, it also is a tool that you can use to train and course correct your team, because it's a tool of accountability. So whenever you enroll in Prospect, you got to make sure that you go to prospectbylegalshield.com, click on the enroll button. I'm not going to spend too much time up on this. I just want to show you how, if you're a new associate, how do you enroll? You go ahead and put your first name, last name, email, phone. Your training partner is the person that's going to receive emails also with you when people click on links. Your LegalShield name, your associate number, and you create your password and you create your account. Now, let me log into Prospect by LegalShield, because there's certain things that certain people need to know. Now, if you notice, this is my back office, and excuse my back office. I'm being transparent with this, so all my numbers are not going to be all that great, but it's okay. Let me show you my phone screen, because I want to show you what else is going to be on Prospect by LegalShield. I'm opening up the Prospect app on my phone. So in the Prospect app, if you notice, I have 11 campaigns. Wow, 11 campaigns. I even have Florida campaigns and everything else. Some of you may be looking at your Prospect app and saying, why do I have 11 campaigns? Well, first of all, what is a campaign? A campaign is a way for you to send people information, and it'll drip on them over time. So if I put someone in an opportunity campaign, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second, if I put someone in an opportunity campaign, it's going to send them an email on these scheduled days. Now, how did I get to that? So you can know, this is your first screen. I clicked on campaigns. There's 2 ways to get to them. You can click them on at the bottom, or you can click on this thing at the top. It's called a hamburger menu. The top left corner is a hamburger menu, and it'll have a drop side. So you can access campaigns from either one of those locations. So when you select the campaign, you can see the emails that are already included with that campaign. So these campaigns, once you put a prospect in there, then it's going to send them the emails on that scheduled day, on the days that are scheduled. Now, some of you may be asking is, okay, well, why do you have 11 campaigns and I only have 5, or I only have 6 campaigns? Hold on, let me show you why. You're able to access both your Prospect by LegalShield it's what we call, it's in the cloud. Your data is in the cloud. In other words, it's not on your device. So when you download it from your app store on your phone, or you access it from your computer, the data syncs. So what you put on your phone will come on your computer. What you put on your computer will come up on your phone. So you don't have to worry about where you originate or where you put information in. That's something that you need to know up front. So with Prospect, if you notice, when I click on right here, this is the campaigns deal. The same thing. These are the 11 campaigns that showed on my phone are showing right here. Now, what you have to do is you can customize your app, and this is where a lot of people have questions at. If you see this little thing that says campaigns for app, when you click upon that, you're going to have a drop-down menu come up. And it's going to be a pop-up. Everything to the left is what's available in Prospect by LegalShield. Everything to the right is what's on your phone. So let's say I wanted this Florida Recruit B2B Commission Sales Pros. That's not on my phone. But if I press this button right here, now it's going to be on my phone. So I'm not in Florida, I'm in Texas. So a lot of these Florida campaigns, for the sake of me going through my app, I'm not going to need. So what I can do is I can press the minus sign and see what it just did. It took all those Florida campaigns out of my app. Now let me show you exactly how that affects my app. So I'm going back into my app. Now, when I go back to my campaigns, notice it was at 11, now it's at 9, because it's syncing across the internet. So now instead of those, campaigns, now I got 9 campaigns. Excuse me, yeah, I got 9 campaigns listed instead of 11 campaigns. So everything you do is the same thing with your resources. See, I have 160 resources listed, and some of those resources I really don't need, to be honest, because I probably don't use a lot of them. So what you can do is you can go into your Prospect. Let me go back to our home screen, which is our dashboard. Once you log into Prospect, you have your dashboard. Now you can go to your resources tab, and it's the same thing, resources for apps. So if you want more resources on your app, all thing you got to do is click this resources for app, and guess what? Here are all the resources that are available to you, period, through Prospect that are not on your app. These are all the ones. And notice, the ID Shield activation. Shoot, this is a good resource. I need to add that. Matter of fact, right now. So the PC Trip 2017 requirements, that's a good resource. I need to add that. So now I can add all these resources in there and make sure, look, see, this is page 1 of 2. So that means that there's more resources on page 2 that I haven't seen. And these are the ones that are on my application. So a lot of times when you're using your mobile app, you want to make sure, if there's too many resources on there, because you don't want to spend too many times going through resources to try to send somebody something. So what you want to do is you want to customize your Prospect app, understand exactly what's being shown up on it. It's just that I use a lot of my resources. I really do. You want to do them that way. So now with the Prospect app, and I'll be quick with this, because I want to spend a lot more time on the LegalShield app. But on the Prospect app, this is how you add a new prospect. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a plus sign, the little man with the plus sign. When you click that little man, it's going to bring out a place where you can put that contact in. Now, what I do when I'm prospecting with people, what I do is once they've committed to watching something or me sending them something, because notice I said once they've committed, that means that you have to talk to them first. But once they've committed to watching something or sending them something, I'll fire up my Prospect app, I'll press that little man, and I'll bring up this screen. And guess what I do? I usually hand my phone over to them. And I'll tell them, okay, put your information in here so I can send you some information. And I promise you, more people will pull up the first name, last name, email, and phone number simply because it's in front of them. And people naturally fill forms out. So it's an easy way to me to get people to put their information in. So if you had a little problem, if it's kind of strange for you for asking for someone's email or something else like that, what I would do is, and this is, you can use whatever line you want. But for me, normally what I'll say to people is, hey, and especially if we're not talking about LegalShield or anything else, I'll tell them, I said, hey, we're helping out a lot of people in this area, and I sure can use your help on something. And they say, well, what do you mean? And I'll say, well, we've helped a lot of people, but the problem is most folks don't understand what our company fundamentally does. Is it okay for me to send you some information through email so you can see exactly what we're doing? And if you run across anyone that we can help, I would love for you to refer them to me. And most folks, they would say yes, because number one, you didn't try to sell them anything, because people love to buy, but they hate being sold anything. And number two, they're going to be curious on what you're sending them, because you're not even talking about them. You're talking about them helping you. And the thing that I want to stress is, remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. The thing that I want to stress when you're using this prospect app is that when I hand them the phone and they put their information in there, I'll let them know that, hey, once they put their information in, and I assign them a campaign on the next page, and you can go through that. You can go through your LMS to learn how to do that. But once I put their information in here and I assign them a campaign, I tell them to check their phone right now because I want to make sure that they got the right email. I got the right email. So for some of you, when you're looking at your contacts and you see that the colors, of course, green means they're in a campaign, yellow means that they're not, that they haven't clicked on the email. Red, let me find me a red. I know I got some red up in here. Red, there you go, I got some red. Red means that they've unsubscribed for it or it's a bad email address. So you can go in your back office on prospectbylegalshield.com and find that out. But if you notice that you're not having a lot of green, it's probably because you're doing one of two things. Either you're being too pressured up front, because remember, you got to pique their interest first, and you got to get them to say, yes, I want you to send me something. So you got to pique their interest and get permission, you know, or you're not checking it right there. And, you know, probably my percentages went up drastically when I started checking it right then and there. When I start checking exactly if they were checking them right then and there. So that's one thing. That's the campaign part. The only other thing I want to say about prospect is make sure that you can send resources to people and you can do them on social media. So let me go through some of these questions real quick that we had on prospect real quick. Hold on just a minute. One of the questions that we have was from Anonymous. It says, how does this work when a prospect shifts from wanting just to know about the membership to wanting to learn about becoming an associate? Can you simply change your campaign in Prospect by LegalShield? Then when they start receiving the new campaign info immediately? Yes, you can. The thing that I learned about Prospect, the great thing about it is once they start accepting the emails, they don't have to fill out another opt-in email. Because keep in mind, the first email that goes out, it's going to be an opt-in email. So if you have a contact, and let's say well, he has no campaign to sign. That's because, and I want to sign, let's say I assigned him a campaign. I just assigned him a campaign, and he wants to know more about the membership. So what I do is I can go right back to that contact. I click on change current campaign, and then I put it on membership and then just reassign it. He's been reassigned. What I would also recommend from a retention standpoint, that once someone is a member, let's say you had them in a membership campaign, and once someone is a member of LegalShield, it says it's not active already because I don't think it's a good address, then what you can do, you can change that campaign to membership retention. And I would recommend every member that you have change their campaign to membership retention. Every member you have, because what that does, they put them on a membership retention campaign with Prospect. So that's Prospect by LegalShield. Keep in mind, you must, to remind you on how to navigate, you have your hamburger menu that you can go down to your contacts, your campaigns, and your resources. The main thing you need to know about Prospect, and you can go into LMS, the learning management system, to go through all of the details, is that you must talk to people before you put them up in there. You must let them know, because that opt-in email is very important for them to fill out. And if you haven't gotten permission from them, then they're not going to do that. So that's Prospect by LegalShield. So let's go to the next. Let me pull my, hold on just a minute. Oh, one more thing I would tell you about Prospect by LegalShield is when you send somebody from information, set up the follow-up. Remember the baseball diamond? So when you send them information, just ask them, hey, you know, do you think you'll be able to look at it tonight? So I want to call you. I want to follow up with you just to make sure you don't have any questions about what we have, so you know what kind of people we're looking for. That's what I tell people. But set up a follow-up, because if you don't set up a time that you're going to follow up, they're not going to look at it. So the next app that we have is your LegalShield app. Oh, this is my favorite app right here. Then we're going to go to Shake and Ask LegalShield. But this is my favorite app. So LegalShield app, what's the purpose of it? Let me pull up my phone screen so you can see that. All right, the LegalShield app, and these are all my apps. And if you have them, if you have an iPhone, of course, you can put them in folders. If you have an Android, you can put them in folders. It's easy for me to access them. So when I click on LegalShield app, the one thing I want you to know about this app right here, powerful, 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 powerful app. This is what you can use to pique people's interest. Look, when people ask me, what do I do? You know, and I got this is not new to me. I was listening to the millennials, Justin Peterson and all the other people. I say, well, look, we get paid. We actually get paid for sharing mobile apps. I said, do you have a smartphone? They said, yeah. And I said, this is one of the most popular apps that we have. And instead of going through all this, I fire up LegalShield. I fire up the LegalShield app. And you can, you know, and there's links to download this app at the bottom of the video. But, you know, my presentation, it's real easy. I said with a tap of a button right there, I can get help on any problem I'm having, whether it's a landlord-tenant issue or anything else. You know, I can tap this button, and that's the snap feature, by the way. When you click begin, that's how you get your tickets. You can put your court date up in it. And of course, you can add a photo of that ticket. And a phrase I like to use a lot whenever I'm presenting is that before you put your car in drive, you can already have the ticket going toward your law firm so they can begin to keep it off your driving record, working on keeping it off your driving record. That's what I use a lot whenever I'm showing this app right here. And of course, prepare your will, what this link is for right there. This is actually going to open up a PDF that'll have their will questionnaire. That's really what it does. Where you can email it, you can email it to yourself or something else like that, where they have their will questionnaire where they can get. The member services link is right there where they can call member services. And the emergency legal access, of course, is a 24/7. Those are the dynamics of this front page. You have your family plan on the top. So it lets you know your member number right here. One of the most important links we have on this particular app is right here, plan info. Very, very important links for your prospects. So when you click on plan info, it's going to open up literally your entire, this is my brochure. This is what I use as a brochure when I'm talking to people. I've done sit downs with this app. And the good thing about doing it with this app is once they put it on their phone, then they can go back and review the information right there because they're not going to lose it. Have you ever given somebody a brochure and they lost it? Yeah, sure. Have you ever given somebody a business card and they lost it? Yeah, sure. But if you put this app, they're not going to lose their phone. So this is going to be like your business card all the time on top of their phone. So what you can do is you can click each one of these deals and it'll open up exactly the coverage. And of course, it's just a general overview, like we said at the bottom. Okay, but it'll open up the coverage. You can go back, document preparation, same thing for your wills. Another good thing about this app is that you have your member perks built on the inside of it, right here, where you can log into member perks straight from your LegalShield app. You can log into member perks. Now, of course, you do have to set up your member perks account. So you do have to create an account if you didn't have one, but you can sign into your member perks account straight from your LegalShield app, and you can access all of your perks right here from the app. So let me go back to the LegalShield app. Not only can you access your member perks, but if you look at the load more button and you press that, there's actually the opportunity video. You know, I've talked to some folks that were members of mine, and they asked me, they say, well, hey, you seem like you make a good living off of LegalShield. And I said, well, yeah, I do. And they're members. And I said, well, I'd love to send you some more information. As a matter of fact, you already have it. And they said, what do you mean? I said, you have the LegalShield app, right? Because I make sure every last one of my members have the LegalShield app. When I sign them up, that's the first thing I tell them is download the app. The first thing I tell them. I said, once you get your email, your confirmation email, then you can register so you can access it. But get all of your members to download the app on the spot. So they can click LegalShield Opportunity, and it gives them some information, even plays a nice video for them. So they can go ahead and know exactly what the LegalShield Opportunity is. Only a 4-minute video with our CEO and with Mr. Jeff Bell sharing the opportunity. Powerful, powerful app. Now, the thing about this app, and let me, whenever you're talking to people, and of course on the LegalShield app, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Whenever you're talking to people, you still have the ID Shield is built into the app. So you have an ID Shield plan. It's going to show both of your plans with your ID Shield number right here. You're going to have a number you can call the advisor. You can see your member dashboard, which you have to log into. You can contact member services, and this is emergency after hours support. And of course, you have your plan info button. Same thing that you have on your LegalShield. So the same thing. So you can actually walk somebody through the identity theft information straight from your phone. security monitor. Look at that, social security number, 10 credit cards, 10 bank accounts, all these things. It is hard for someone to get this on their phone and say no. It is very, very hard. Full restoration services. Show them about that, you know, with all our plans. So let me go back to the family plan so you can see that. And of course, when you pull out, you have your name at the top and you log in. So let me log out of my member app. Now I'm logging out of my member app. And the reason why I'm logging out is because I want to show you how I prospect with this app. This is how I prospect personally. Even when I was doing a group presentation one time. And that one time was yesterday, actually. And I walked into the room and I had a flat sheet with my member stuff on it just to give out something to folks with an application. And I asked the people in the room, I asked them to raise their hands. I said, how many folks in here have a mobile phone, smartphone? And they raised their hands. And I took a minute to say, okay, this is what I want you to do. We have a brand new app that is going to blow your mind. Remember, promotion is key. You want to pique people's interest. So I said, the only thing you got to do is go to your app store on your iPhone or go to your Play Store on your Google phone and search LegalShield. Should be the first thing that pops up, and they do. And I said, go ahead and download the app while I explain what this app does. And that's how I do my sit downs. When I'm sitting down with someone and they have their phone, I get them to download the app before the sit down even begins because I want that app on their phone. Because if the app is on their phone, that's half the battle right there. So I get them to download the LegalShield app, and then when they put it in demo mode, the same exact thing that you saw on your phone, they get on theirs. See, they can press the call your law firm, but the difference is instead of calling the law firm, you're going to get a recording by our CEO explaining the membership. It's just simply amazing. They can see Snap. They can go through the process of what it is to go through. This is a full demonstration. They can see the emergency access. They can see the plan info right here. So if you're going through, they can see all of this on their phone along with the member perks and everything else. And see, once it's on their phone, now they have, you know, they're looking at the app on their phone. And let's say you have a person that says, you know, I want to think about it. You know, that's one of the worst things that you hear as an associate. I want to think about it. Let me go home and think about it. Well, there's the app on their phone. How easy it is for them to say, you know, I met with somebody, he was talking about LegalShield, and them walk them through the app. That look, you can press a button and call your law firm. Of course, you want to do the typical sit down where you share stories and everything else. But how easy is it once you show them where to click on this plan info, and they sit down with their spouse or their mom or their neighbor, and they go through this app and they see everything that it does, how it's going to sell itself. That's my point. So in prospecting, what I do, this is my tool to pique people's interest. Whenever I'm talking to people and they say, you know, what are you doing? What's LegalShield? Instead of me going through what I used to go through back in the day, which, you know, I would say stuff like, well, you know, it's in 1972, a Harlan Stone cipher got into a car wreck. And 5 minutes later, I done lost that person because they don't care nothing. I hate to say it, but they don't care nothing about Stone Cipher getting in the car wreck, and they don't care about nothing. They want to know what is in it for me. So I show them the app. The easiest way that I've gotten in contact with people to pique their interest is to show them the product. I mean, think about this. Think about this. And those of you that know me, you know, with the 7 kids, you know how I operate. I would go into Sam's or HEB, and you have those little sample people out there. Think about it. I mean, you may think it's funny, but it's the truth. You have those little people with the little samples, whether it's sushi or sausage or gumbo or whatever they want to sample, chips, wine, there's everything these days. Do a sample. And a lot of people, when they give you the sample, a lot of people will look and there's a carton where the actual merchandise is. And because they took a sample of it and tested it out, now they're more inclined to make the purchase. That's what this app is. You're actually giving them a real life sample of LegalShield. And I want you to, I can't stress that enough on how important it is to utilize this in your prospecting, because this tool is going to be your retention tool. Because the more prospects that have it on their phone, the more they're going to see what the service does. And if it's taking up landscape on their phone, they're going to look at it. And it's easy for them to share it with someone else. Because they're going to say, when people say, what's LegalShield? Instead of them going through all this explanation, they can say, look, I got an app and I can tap it and I get my law firm on the phone. They can show them the plan info. You'll have more are your members selling for you and referring for you because they have a way to speak with confidence. That's why that app is so important. And it's important for you. I would recommend that before you do any sit downs, I would get people to download the app. What's there to lose? I mean, get them to download the Prospect app. So, that's not the Prospect app, excuse me, the Legal Shield app. That's the Legal Shield app. Let me check our questions real quick. Question from Charles was, while going about your day, what techniques do you use to prospect, to populate my prospects phone app? Okay. One of the techniques I use is I'm here to help people. That's really what and that's, you got to think that's what we do in Legal Shield. We improve people's lives. I said, well, what we do for a living, we help people live better lives. You know, how in the world you do that? Or we help people live more and worry less. I mean, that's an easy thing. Whatever you have to say. But for me, I have more reception by letting people know that my job is to serve others, is to help people. I want a better society. I want to make America great again. You know, you want to use that tagline, whatever you want to use. But they say, how do you do that? I said, well, do you have a smartphone? I asked them a question. Now, you may run across somebody that doesn't have a smartphone. Of course, from that, you can use another tool. But if they have a smartphone, I said, well, look, this is an app I have. Matter of fact, I would love for you to download it on your phone. It's free to download. And I will pull my phone out and I will show them. I said, this is how we helping people. And then I'll pull it out. I'll launch the app. I say, you know, everybody has problems. Only thing you got to do is just tap a button and we can get you assistance without worrying about all the hourly costs and everything else. I would love to send you some information to really explain more about what this app can do. And I would love for you to download it. So, and then I'll put them on Prospect app. I said, well, what's your, you know, do you mind if I send you some information? And that way you can download the app and you can take a look at it if you know anyone that we can help. And I would love for you to share it for me. I've had more people refer people out because of that app, because they're excited, because it's there. It's there on their phone. So use this to prospect. You can use it to present. You know, I don't really carry a lot of stuff. I'm not saying don't use the corporate material. I mean, if that's your way, then use your way. But I'm saying you're going to have this by your side everywhere you go. So this is an easy way for you to not only pique interest, but this is also a way for you to present. But this is also a way for you to retain your members, because more members are going to use their membership if they have this app on their phone. And if they understand the app, then any other thing. I advise you to make sure that you go within your Prospect app under your legal plans and look for how to start your membership correctly. And there's a document that tells you how to go about registering for the app, registering for this app right here. Now, another question is, how do you register for the app? Because a lot of you have members, they're on a demo mode, but they need to know how to register for the app. Let me go over that real quickly. Hold on, I'm pulling up a website real quick. I'm going to show you exactly where that is on our sites. Okay. All right. All your members have a website called mylegalshield.com because it's important for them. They can't register from the app. So keep that in mind. So they have to create an account. So send them to mylegalshield.com, click on create an account, and give them these instructions. Whenever you sign up for Legal Shield, within about 48 hours or so, you're going to get an email with your membership number. Then you go to My Legal Shield, and it should be on that form that I told you about how to start your membership correctly. You put your membership number, you create a login and a password, and you submit it. That same membership number, that same login and password is going to work on this site, and it's going to work upon the Legal Shield app. So everyone should know about their back office. And the back office is great. We even have chat features and everything else. I know there's the app training, but if you're not showing your members how to access this, if you're not putting them in a membership retention campaign, you're really hurting yourself, because this is good information for them to have, and it's going to keep them on the books. So the Prospect app, let me see if there's any other questions about the Prospect app real quick. Let me go through my questions. Okay. Oh, this is about the Prospect app. I know we're going over the Legal Shield app, but they have a question about the Prospect app that I didn't see. How do we know when Prospect opens a resource if we just text them, not email? There's no way. There's no way. That's the thing about the resources versus the campaign. Because on the resources are a one-time shoot. There's not any tracking available on those deals that I know of. I hope I'm not wrong, but I don't think there's any tracking. But the way you just follow up with it like you do another tool. So you make sure if you send somebody a resource, you set up a time to follow up. And when you follow up, what I would recommend, I don't ask people if they watched it. I ask them, hey, what's the one thing you like best about what you saw? I follow up with the expectations that they saw it. And a lot of people, you know, most folks won't lie. Most folks say, well, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm like, oh man, I was just excited about, you know, about what this thing can do for people's lives. When do you think you get a chance to watch it? So you got to ask them those questions. So there's no way for you to check down there. Let me see if there's any other questions. A lot of people, and I apologize about starting late. That's how I approach a business on the prospect. We have a number of twos, but I don't want to intimidate too many apps. Okay, we're gonna get there's a question about approaching business owners. Let's get into our third app. The next app that we're gonna go through is the Shake app. The Shake app. All right, let's go to Shake. Keep in mind that this thing is being recorded. So if I'm going fast, don't worry about it. You can watch it over again. So I'm trying to keep this thing an hour, like I told people. But the Shake app right here. The first thing you have to do for the Shake app is you have to, well, first of all, it's a free app. And let me just go through the dynamics of what it is. On the Shake app, you can create an agreement. They can download it for free. They can create an agreement. So you have your home screen. And on your home screen, there's different agreements. Let me just click on the confidentiality agreement. That's a non-disclosure agreement. So they click on that. Let me go back so you can see exactly. These are all the agreements. You have to choose your state first because they're going to be state-specific agreements. So you choose your state. And based upon the state, it's going to have the agreement. Now, the good thing about this is these agreements right here are state-specific, and they're already reviewed by our law firm. So we know they're solid. We know they're pretty solid agreements. So you don't have to worry about, you know, pulling something off the internet and not knowing if it's good. Let's look at the medical templates. Now, HIPAA release authority. This is a pretty strong agreement. And, you know, this is a way that I've shared with some of my members, and I prospected with this app too, because I say, you know, if you got a child that's, let's say they're 18 or 19 or 24 or whatever they are, and if they get in a car accident, a lot of times you're paying for that insurance. You're paying for their medical insurance, and this is why I'm talking to people. You're paying for the medical insurance, but if you go to the hospital, you know, unless there's a HIPAA release, that a lot of times the doctors can't tell you what's going on with them. And a lot of people are uneasy about that. And I said, look, when I found that out, you know, I talked to my law firm. I'm throwing all these buzzwords. I talked to my law firm, and they told me these are one of the documents that I really needed, a HIPAA release. And I said, I can get you one for free. You know, and it's real easy to find out. Matter of fact, there's an app that we have that you can actually fill it out on your phone and have it right there. That way, if anything happens to your son or daughter, you don't have to worry about. One of the clients that I know of that traveled out of town because they were in an accident and they couldn't have nothing to do with their care because of the HIPAA laws. So look, it's a HIPAA release. So what they can do, they can put I, and then of course your people can actually put their name, put my name in there just so you see it. I, Herman Davis. And they can just go ahead and fill all this stuff out. Just go ahead and fill it out. Okay. Now, the neat thing about the Shake app is whenever they're ready to sign it, what they can do is they can click sign here, and they can put their name, first name, then last name. And let me update it. I got to put an email address. That's right, because it has to have somewhere they can send it to. Okay, so now they got their signatures. So what you can do is once you see how you can sign it, you can go ahead and sign it right there on your phone and press continue. Now what that's doing, it's emailing that signature, and I can confirm the signature right down there. Or I can send for a signature if I want to prepare this for someone else. But bottom line is it emails the document to someone. And when they pull up the document, they can actually sign it on their phone. They actually sign it on their phone. So this is what the Snap app does. And of course, it sees that I'm not through with it, so I can actually save this before I'm out of it. So you have these agreements. Now on the bottom, on this Manage tab, what the Manage tab does is any pending agreements, like these are drafts that I did because I'm always doing a draft to show people the app. But any pending things I have that are waiting for agreements, they're going to be here. So you have your drafts. These are agreements that you're drawing up. You have your pending agreements. These are the agreements that you're waiting on a signature on. And then you have your completed agreements. And these are agreements that I even did a loan money agreement with someone just to kind of test it out and show them how it works. So you have your drafts, your pending agreements, and your completed agreements. Now on your settings key, of course, you have your profile information and all that stuff. And there's a Legal Shield deal where you can join the community and become a member and everything else, which I'm going to get into right now. Now, the question goes is you're probably looking at your app and saying, I don't have the Legal Shield premium questionnaires, because you can actually do your will from your Shake app. You can actually fill out your will from right here. This is the will questionnaire that you can fill it out. And of course, at the end, you can have it emailed to yourself where you can print it. But the whole point of having this filled out on a Shake app is that you can work on it on and off, or your members can work on theirs on and off, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. They'll always have their phone on them. Because when I was doing my will, the bad thing about it, the thing that really hurt me or that really slowed me down, is that I didn't feel like I didn't have the time to really sit down and do it. But if you can show your members how they can download this Shake app and how they can actually fill their will out, they can do some of it at some time and then go back and finish it later on. They can do that. Now you'll get a stronger member because they can do the will. So the question is, how in the world did I get my will questionnaires on there? Because most folks don't have their will questionnaires on there. And I'm going to tell you why you don't. Hold on. Let me see. How do I get my... And yes, John, I'm going to do that. I see your text. So let me go to this. Where you want to go to is you want to go to shake.legalshield.com. Okay, when you download the app, you can register from the front page of the app, or you can actually go to shake.legalshield.com and then you can log in, or you can get started, either one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my Shake account because I already downloaded it on my phone. I'm already registered for Shake. So I'm going to log into my Shake account real quick. So now on my Shake account, if you notice, there's a thing that says become a member, learn more. It has my thing where I can manage my documents. It has my information up here. It has these premium questionnaires. The way I got that is if you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, you have these premium questionnaires. Right now, the divorce and prenup are not there, but the will is there. You see what it says, join Legal Shield of You? This is where you want to send your members. You send them to shake.legalshield.com, and then they can click on Join Legal Shield of You. There's a pop-up that's going to come up. So what you do is they put their membership number here, and they click Link Account. They put their membership number here, and they press Link Account. When they do that, what it's going to do, it's going to automatically attach their membership to their Shake account. Now the premium questionnaires are going to be available right there. They're going to have the premium questionnaires where they can go ahead and fill them out. So that's the good thing about this right here. Okay, thank you, John. That's the good thing about this right here, is because you'll be able to have your members fill out their will questionnaire straight from the Shake app. And that's really what the Shake app is about. Remember, it's cloud, just like anything else. What you start on your phone, you can resume on your computer. You just have to select your state. And if you notice, every state has different types of apps. So when I pull up Texas, it's going to bring up the medical, freelance, confidential, even allows you to create your own, design your own, agreement that you want to. And this is cool. This is cool. You can create, and you see, I've already created some of my own agreements right here. So that's Shake by Legal Shield. We want to make sure that we have that particular app. Now, I am going to show you how to share that and how to make your custom URL, but I really want to go through first. Let me go over my notes real quick, make sure how to use link to membership. Okay, how to share the apps. I showed you how to the Legal Shield. Okay, how to share the apps. Now, you got Ask by Legal Shield. So let me just show you that one real quick. Pull it up on my phone. Ask by Legal Shield. Well, Ask Legal Shield, not Ask by Legal Shield. Ask Legal Shield. Now, the purpose of Ask Legal Shield, this is a free app, and this is what you can use to actually prospect. I've actually sold probably about 4 memberships by using this app right here, because people have questions. Everybody has questions, and the way when I prospect, I said, look, I'm sick and tired of seeing my friends go to Google and go on Facebook to air out their dirty laundry about asking about certain legal situations. So our company's come out with a free app. I love for you to test it out. Tell me what you think about it, and use it. It's free. It doesn't require anything whatsoever. So when they have Ask by Legal Shield, they can download it from your special link, which I'm going to show you. I do not tell them. This is a tip. I do not tell them the name of the app. I do not tell them the name of the app. Why don't I tell them that? Because if I told them the name, they would go to the app store and download it themselves. And that's not really what I want them to do. I don't want them to do it if I'm talking to them. I don't want them to download it by themselves. I don't tell them the name of Ask, and I don't tell them the name of Shake. I give them the link, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. But now for Ask by Legal Shield, of course, they can ask any question they want. They can, just like Google, they can put up in there, let me put ticket, T-I-C-K-E-T. Ticket. Look, when my rates go up, I lose my shares from involved in an accident. So let me click on that. The good thing about this app is that the answers in there are reviewed by a law firm, so we know they're correct. Another good thing about this app is after they use it a couple of times, which you're going to find out, people are going to use it. And I just press the hamburger menu up front. Well, it's not a hamburger menu, this little side menu, so you see what I'm doing. Home, about us, contact us, and all this other thing. It says join the community. There's a couple of areas that talk about join the community. Right here, join a community, become a member. When they click become a member, they can actually sign up for Legal Shield right from their phone. Let me show you. I'll put Texas because I'm not licensed in Alabama. And if they choose their state, they want to sign up for a personal plan, they can click sign up now. Legal Shield individual, Legal Shield family, they put buy now. Bam, that membership application is right there. And guess what? Your information is right there, automatically there. Now, how, you ask? Well, that's where share.legalshield.com comes in. Let me show you that. This is where you go to get your link right here. You go to share.legalshield.com. I'm going to show you how to do that. This is my computer screen. I'm going on top, share.legalshield.com. When you go to share.legalshield.com, what it's going to do, it's going to ask you, and you can do this from your mobile phone. It's going to ask you to log into your associate portal. Once you log into your associate portal, it's going to automatically give you your own personalized link for each one of those apps, the Shake by Legal Shield and the Ask by Legal Shield. You can just copy this link, and you can, you can copy it. You can send it to people on social media or anything else, but it'll give you these links where you can copy. Now, let me give you a tip that I do a lot of times whenever I'm talking to folks. Let me share my phone screen with you so I can show you how this works. What I would recommend is take your links that you have, and you can create what's called shortcuts or short links. I'm going to show you how to do it on the iPhone. This is just a mobile tip for you. If you're on your iPhone, or if you have an Android, I'm sure you can do it. Get with Best Buy or somebody, or go look in ask another Android person. But this is how you do it on an iPhone. You can go to settings. You can go to general. Find out where your keyboards are at. This is where my keyboard is. Now on keyboard, we have something that's called text replacement. So what you're able to do is you're able to create a link. If I press that plus button right here, it's going to ask me for a phrase and a shortcut. Let me show you one I already created. You see where I have ASKLS? Basically, the shortcut is what you type in your keyboard. The phrase is what it's going to actually type for you. So for example, let's say I'm going to text someone. And let me see. Okay. I don't know what this is about, but look, I go to text someone on my text message screen, and they want my Ask Legal Shield link. So what I can do is, instead of trying to figure out or going to copy it somewhere, I press ASKLS S. Because you remember, I made that a short link. See in the middle, and I press that button, the whole thing pops up. So I can eat, and that's from anywhere on my phone. If they wanted the Shake, I think it's SHAKELS. So that's just the phones, well, iPhones or Android. You can go ahead and make a shortcut, and that way you don't have to worry about it. Another thing that you can do, instead of making a shortcut, you can actually open up your Note app. Every phone has some type of Note app. Let me see. No, this one has it. And I don't even know my Note app, but it's okay. Watch Notes. You can go and open up your Note app. You can go ahead and create. You can create a note. I would create a note, and I would put my share links right there. That way, whenever you want to share it with someone, you can just copy the note and paste it in your email or paste it in your text message. But that's something that I do a lot. I use my Note app for that. So remember, go to share.legalshield.com and get your links for Shake. Let me open it up. Let me open up for questions real quick. Let me see what kind of questions we have. Hold on just a minute. Let me go back to our questions, make sure that we're good upon those. And I appreciate y'all. We have a lot of viewers, and we've hung with it the whole time. Can I take full advantage of the apps with my social media accounts and drive an audience to legal share information? Absolutely. The question was, how can I take full advantage of the apps with my social media accounts and drive the audience to legal share information? What I recommend is this, though. On social media, and there was a great training done on social media, doing the leadership show. There's some other trainings I would recommend going and watching Momentum show. And I actually recommend going to the LMS so you can see a lot of the trainings down there. But on social media, you don't want to become weird with your friends. So make sure that your page is about whatever you're sharing with people. Don't, if you want to make a business page with Legal Shield, then yeah, you can talk business Legal Shield there, but I'll be real hesitant about what I share up on Legal Shield. The great thing about the Prospect app right now is that there's actually a social share button. I'm trying to pull it up so you can see it. There's actually a social share button on the Prospect app. So if you look on your Prospect app right here, and you want to send somebody a resource, let's say I wanted to send someone something about the identity theft plan, the fact sheet. But when I click on that button right there to send the resource, at the bottom, you see where it says send via? That's your text message, that's your mail, and this is your social media icon. So you can click your social media icon and you can select whichever app you want to actually post that link to. Think about that. So you can go ahead and post it to social media right there from the apps. Let me check the other questions. Am I going about your day? What techniques you use? Prospect, already answered that. Legal Shield app. How do we get our contact once they sign up to get credit to me? Question. It said the Prospect by Legal Shield app. Once you get your, if you're sending them out, all the campaigns already have your information built into them. The links inside the campaigns to sign up, which they should, if you're putting them in the Prospect app, then they should automatically go to your website, or they should automatically be credited to you with that. Let me go throughout, make sure there's nothing else. With the Shake app, a document being sent, does the receiving party also need to have the app? No, they don't need to have the app. That's the neat thing about the Shake app. I signed, like I said, I signed an agreement to someone, and I don't know what technology they use, but whatever they did, whenever they clicked to sign it on their email program, it opened it up where they can sign it right there on their smartphone. So they didn't even need to have it. It was amazing, simply amazing. Let me see. We have links for Shake and Ask LegalShield and our Prospect by Legal Shield app. They're already populated with our associate number. We have links for Shake. Oh, just let them know. We have links for Shake or Legal Shield in our Prospect by Legal Shield app. They're already populated with our associate number. What she means is this. Let me show you. And this is another way. Thank you for adding that too. Hub site and share links right here. That's another way you can get it. You have your personalized share link right here for Ask for Legal Shield. Let me go back. Let me copy that link first. Let me text it so I can show you how it looks in the text message. So I click the link and I press text message. Oops. I got a lot of things going on for this text message. Let me disregard a lot of this because I actually had two things that I was trying to send. Where's the share? Hub site share links. Click the link and let me just press mail because I know. See, it has Ask LegalShield personalized share link. So you already have it there in your website. Thank you. I actually forgot about that. I appreciate that's the power of team. I'm glad I looked at it. So look, you have these right here. And also with these hub sites, thank you for bringing it up. On your prospect app, look, you have all of your sites already listed. If you're talking to a business owner and you want to send them to the employee benefit site, because you know you don't want to send your business owner to your hub site a lot of times, because your hub site talks about sharing legal, selling LegalShield and everything else, and you don't want to approach them with that. You can actually send them to your employee benefit site. Watch this. Look, you can click that link. Of course, you can share it any kind of way, but let me show you what pulls up. And this is just my business site where you can see it. See, it brings them straight to my B2B site. So you can use these apps and you can cherry pick what you want people to share. Same thing with commercial drivers legal plan site, your ID Shield site, your business legal service plan site. So all these customized links, and we're always improving. I know we got the share.legalshield.com that you can have upon it, but these are sites already in your prospect app. I mean, it's amazing. And what I would suggest, seriously, I would strongly suggest to make sure that you always check your prospect app. They're always updating it with new videos, new resources, and your prospect app is not just used to prospect people. It can be used to train your associates. I was looking on it the other day, and let me show you this right quick so you can see and just explore the app. The app has so many things on it. Thank you so much, Patrick Shaw and everyone else that had something to do with this. But look, training audios. When I'm talking to my team, what I do is, let's say if there's something going on of somebody that's a little frustrated and they're trying to figure out what in the world, you know, what am I doing wrong, or the business is not working. You know, I love the Success 1, 2, 3 by Nick Serbo. So what I'll do is I'll click on this and I would text them. I say, you know what, I got something I want you to listen to. And I would text them this audio right there. I'll text it to them. So all our platinum recordings, all our performance clubs, all this is up in here, tools and tips at a glance. You know, all these things are in here. LegalShield app, Android app. So you can use this as a training deal for your organization also. It's not just for your prospects. This is for your team too. You know, I didn't really go into too much detail about prospect by LegalShield on purpose, because what we have is you need to go to the LMS. You need to go to the LMS, the learning management system. And when you go to the LMS, what I want you to do is, hold on, let me show you this. When you go to the LMS, and all of you should know how to do this, you can search. See, all these courses are yours. Prospect by LegalShield is 101.50. But you can actually search for courses. So instead of going to course listing, you can search. And you can put prospect, Prospect. Let me just search. So everything that's prospect, tech training, prospect by LegalShield, approaching prospects, all these things are right there in your deal. So I don't want to go over get too technical with you guys. I really just wanted y'all to have a broad overview over all the apps and how to navigate through them and how to use them. So look, let me make sure there's no more comments or no more deals. Thank you. So Vernon Heat, that means the world to me. You don't understand. You're always a hero and a legend in my book. So thank you so much. Let me make sure there's nothing else that's there. Let me read through. Oh. So that's it. That's the end of the broadcast. I appreciate all y'all. Thank y'all for plugging in. It will be recorded and it will be sent out. With that, take care, take charge. Sorry it ended so abruptly, but I see it's 8:07. I said I was going to be done at 8. So that, appreciate everybody for plugging in. Thank y'all so much. Looking forward to helping y'all explode the business. Let's make Vision 2020. Let's make it, instead of Vision 2020, let's make it Vision 2019. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot. Thank you, Mr. John Bush. Mr. John Bush emailed this to me. I want to show you this. Let's make sure that we vote let's make sure that we vote on Legal Shield for South by Southwest. You can go to the Facebook page. As a matter of fact, it's probably easier for me to do it on Legal Shield's Facebook page. Let me see if I can find it real quick before we end this training. You can go to Legal Shield Associate Facebook page, and there's a deal about voting for Jeff Bell. Let me see if I can find it. We'll go to our Legal Shield Associate Facebook page because I can't pull up my email right now. And there's a deal about us voting for Jeff Bell to be in South by Southwest. That's going to be a big thing, him and Chris D'Alessandro. So make sure everyone goes to the Legal Shield Facebook page or Ask Your Leadership, where to find the link at. As a matter of fact, it's in your Sunday newsletter. So read your newsletter from last week, and let's vote. Let's follow the instructions and vote so we can get our CEO and our, and also Chris D'Alessandro. We can get them down there to South by Southwest. It's a huge deal. It's going to have drastic impact on our apps. It's going to have a lot of people driving, and it's going to help our brand out and everything else. So I appreciate everyone down here. Thank you so much for giving me an hour, a little more hour of your time. You can play this video over and over again. I will take it down from the site, so it's not going to be up there. That site typically I use to do live presentations for guests when we're doing our webinars for the team and everything else. But I will go ahead and forward this to the leadership of Texas and some other folks. You will have a YouTube link. It's not going to be a public link on my YouTube channel because I don't want prospects to go through this and confuse them. But I will have the YouTube link available. If you have any questions, you can email me directly, and I'll make sure that I give you that link also. But I appreciate everyone's attention. Y'all have a wonderful day. Let's go ahead and make August. That's when August the biggest month ever we have within our company. Take care. Take charge. Thank you so much, Don, for everything you've done, Mr. Wilson. I appreciate all the promotion and everything else. And see you all over the top.